have then the looks at these characters. You two have interacted.
You're on your way.
You're taking them
Yes,
back. And you're going back into the controlled territory. So the adults and the other outrider you were with continues on their route, and you are been sent back.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And now, and now your situation is that you have been called to attend a meeting. The meeting is at one of these, the longhouse with the forge in front of it, and you have, well, it's not a forge because it's not the metal, but the equivalent, the place where they treat the wood. Yeah. And in fact, one of the people who do that is there, making blade, and you noticed that they are not the ordinary things. These are a lighter and a more a lighter spearhead than you are used to seeing. Oh. And also a lighter axe head than you are used to seeing, with a longer blade. Oh. Okay. So the person working on the weapons is making these would not be such effective tools as you are used to seeing.
Are they weapons?
No, much more so. These are in fact, let's go ahead and make your intelligence roll, which is your intelligence times 5.
Intelligence times 5.
Which is pretty high for you.
Yeah, 50 over 50. I don't...
Wait, what is your intelligence?
14.
14, so you're going to have 70.
70, yikes.
Yes,
84, nah.
Oh, no.
Close, but I'm like,
They look a little strange.
They look a little weird, whatever.
And so
you do you.
That's
not how it's supposed to work.
And there has been a call for some of the people who keep the legends and things. And you're one of them. You're trained by these people.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
And so they are here to attend this event.
God, I had to sit for a few hours just listening.
Yeah, listening to the grown-ups talk. And however, this is the priest who has been associated with the area. He grew up there, but is very young. Rotold. Rotold is someone else. Hold on. Vind is not much older than you.
Oh.
And has and is a handsome young man with thick black hair tied back. Yes, and is waiting, and has a few pretty tough-looking guys with him.
Am I gonna be kicked out?
And they are looking over finished versions of these weapons and examining them, and that's what they are tending to. And after a little while, Vind snaps to one of the other gathered adults and says, "Where is she? Too sick to walk?" And
not me. I was like, me? I'm right here. What the fuck?
No,
the chief.
Yeah, it says too sick to walk today, and and one of the guys with him who's chosen an axe goes,
Axe.
Well, more like that was a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, and so somebody goes, and in a little while, walking by herself, perhaps with some visible willpower to do it, comes Maldred, who is still an ox of a woman, but is old, and she says, "Victory to you, Vind," and Vind nods a little bit and says, "Victory. This means hello."
Wow! Right? Victory to you.
Yeah, right. And Vind respectfully, barely, victory. Now they have a conversation, and the conversation concerns that the conversation definitely concerns that it is time it is time to teach the next community over that they need to
Respect us.
well, they need to have their clan heads, their elders, their council has to be subordinated to ours. Their decisions have to be checked by ours, and they have not been doing this. This has not been the case for years. You know, clearly, this is unsupportable, and Vind seems to be taking something of a lead in this argument. And Ordlin, what you know, we all serve the chief, the war chief. What sacrifice have we made? What have we demonstrated? And Maldred says, we have demonstrated more than you know. We have demonstrated what we need. You represent us to the god. You bring his magic to protect us. We have done what needs to be done. And Vind says, since when?
Hey,
So as you can see, there's now a little bit of a power struggle happening here. And so let's see. Is there anything you want to do? Any skills you want to try? Or
I only have like listen, scan, lore.
oh, this is listen. This is listen.
Let's
See
listen.
just what you're picking up.
Yeah.
63.
Nah, nothing.
Okay.
I'm like,
Well,
what else doesn't concern me?
Well,
How to, yeah.
my argument is that you are hearing what everybody will hear, but you're not hearing all of
Oh,
the
yeah,
to
I
play.
don't
You
quite-
want says.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't quite get it.
Yeah.
I have other stuff to worry. I'm still confused about the axes. What are they?
The tough guys are playing with their new toys, and so and it's clear these are for human targets.
Yeah.
These are war axes. These are war spears. They are,
Right,
and that's what I meant about them being lighter. Fantasy gamers all think that the heavier the weapon, the better. No, it's not the case. A battle axe is much lighter than a woodsman's axe, and the same thing with a fighting spear. They're meant to be carried. They're meant to be used fast, and they are meant to be expendable. Right? Because they break. And things, and you're throwing your spear or your axe.
Yeah, and they gotta be sharp and
Right, they got to be
for
sharp
that
and
they have
effective.
to will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
the sharper they are, the quicker they
exactly
break.
right, and so they're meant to be used up, and so it's exactly the opposite of your gamer with their monstrous battle axe. Right. So let's see. With that all happening, we have situated all of your characters, and sooner or later. When you guys get back to the village, it is that you are directed to Setuel. Should handle this. It's pretty bad. We need the magic needs to be
Your
happening here.
goddamn arm.
Right, and so
I'll be off my horse.
and so what will happen is that eventually. So you're thinking about whether you want to be able to get your fetch or not. Have you decided?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Okay.
Small, ugly creatures are the best.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and shall we do this first?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Oh, excellent.
You
Because we are talking ritual space here,
Yeah,
right?
it's fun.
Okay. So the key is that these are not like wild shamans who get naked and run jump around the campfire. I know, it's too bad. But the fact is that they do have to connect with both the wilds and with the town. So what will happen is you will go to a particular prepared space, a little wooden place that's not much more than a platform. It's not a home, right? It's a little platform and nobody goes there, and now you're going to go inside this place. And yes, in fact, you're going to have to eat some spiders, and you're going to, right?
You wanted a fetch, bruh.
And
Protein.
then, and you're going
Bear
to
Grylls.
and you're going to have to sit in there and
like 2 days.
something like that. All this kind of shamanistic stuff. You
So
have to
we're
do
walking
that.
by with the horse, like What the hell is it
Right.
doing?
Here's one gag.
Yeah.
Wait, you get to choose your fetch, or does it come to you?
The fetch itself is going to have to be rolled for.
Oh!
Right.
Nice.
And so
It's random.
yes.
I was hoping for a slug.
but wait. No, I was talking about the spirit.
Oh,
The spirit is rolled for. For the creature, you get to choose.
are there like big snails?
That's an interesting idea. Of course, there are big snails.
You're,
Oh, and
You
what
wanna
about
go
water
with the
bags?
goats?
They gotta be like you
It
got.
has to be a goat.
A goat snail.
a
That's
goat
more
snail.
than a goatee.
But it's obvious. Since we do live by the riverbank, it's obvious that we kind of see like gigantic snails like every morning is kind of traveling.
That's
up
right.
on-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why not? Why not? Let us go ahead and say that they are poison snails because
Ooh.
that's more fun.
That's
Yeah.
more
Right.
fun.
Right. They're
Those
poison
are good
snails.
snakes.
And so when we take a look at this now,
I'm gonna
you guys
be so
have all,
sticky.
of course, you guys have heard. Yes, this is going to get sticky. You guys have heard, of course, of Greg Stafford, who is
Oh, obviously.
the fellow who is responsible primarily for RuneQuest and for Glorantha, and RuneQuest became the representative game for it. And he was, in many ways, either how seriously is a matter of debate, but he was a practicing shaman.
Oh.
So the rules for shamanism in RuneQuest are absurdly detailed relative to every other rule.
He knew what he was
You're
talking
like,
about.
you're reading along, oh, there's pretty good combat rules, they're pretty detailed. Oh, pretty good, monster rules, oh, these are pretty detailed. Well, the setting's pretty detailed. Shaman, oh my god. So-
You can
Who
now
wrote
be.
this? An actual shaman?
yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's like
Yeah,
somebody took this really
You can
seriously.
now be a practicing shaman just through reading that.
Yeah.
Just a guide, really.
Guide 101.
Exactly.
Shamanism 101.
So the first thing we discover is that it is going to have an well, the intelligence is rolled.
Should I write this down?
Oh yes.
Okay.
It's intelligence of 12.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, not at all.
It's smarter than me.
And
This is so sad.
and then it has a power of 13. Now,
Okay.
the nice thing about a fetch, it can serve
Wait, 13,
as
15.
13. For power.
It
It's
serves
just better than
as eyes on the spirit plane. So if spirits are coming to get you or are present in the around, then it will watch out for them, and it will also store spells. I mean, you can only know spells, these battle magic spells. You can only know them for points equal to your intelligence. Its intelligence is further for you, so you can have a lot more spells ready to use. It can cast the spells it knows itself. So you have a different, 2 spellcasters there if you want, you and it. And finally, if you direct it into spirit combat with something, it can attack them.
So it's like a Pokemon.
Right.
If you could have Pokemon powers yet too. Yeah.
Now, I will say spirit combat is exceptionally dangerous in this, and also it is very destructive to your power.
Oh, okay.
So I would not enter into it for fun.
Yeah,
it's
no.
very dangerous. And so
Like Pokemon.
right.
Like Pokemon.
Now, what you're going to do is to yes. What is your power and your charisma?
My power is 15 and my charisma is 12.
Okay, so that makes a 27 together.
Yeah.
And so then we are going to take the average, and I will be very nice and make it 14, not 13.
Thank you.
And so then we multiply that times 5, which is 70%.
Yay!
Yes.
First successful roll.
Yes. You
Should I
have,
write this down?
you have no.
Okay.
You now have your fetch, and you can give it a name.
Mothboy.
Jerome.
Jerome.
Gaston and Jerome.
Gandalf.
Jerome with the J.
Gandalf? Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah.
There's a
And
thing
so-
with Y's in this world.
I know.
think.
I know. And so this is a hallucinatory experience because you have actually entered the spirit plane to do this.
You ate some weird
The way
spiders.
the way that the spirit plane works is that it looks like our reality, except of course the perspectives do this, and it is more monochromatic.
Oh.
And also you can travel on it without regard to gravity. You have movement that is ordinary movement, but you don't care about gravity.
You can
And furthermore,
any access.
distances are not the same. So if you need to just go across the room, it may take you all day, or it may take you 1 minute to go across the river. Distances are not the same. And so, when you can see the spirits, you can see the ancestor spirit who lives in that post.
Oh.
You can see the spirits. Looking at your mentor, you have no idea. You have no idea just how many spirits are wrapped around his forearm. And the fact that his...
Which arm? The one who's missing?
as a matter of fact, his spirit form has an arm.
Oh.
Yes. And it may even have been replaced by a spirit. And so you can definitely see that the world looks... You have been told about this, and it has been taught to you in symbolic language through this whole year. This is... You can travel in this. You can encounter spirits from places and talk to them. And it is a very dangerous world, but you are going to have to master your place in it to serve as a shaman. So that's your new role. So
And now I have a slug.
and yes, and you have this snail or slug thing, which you will never... The feel of the slime somewhere on you will never go away.
It's like a curse as well.
It's like hair gel.
Yeah, good fashion.
Well, I meant the sensation for you, not necessarily
It doesn't work.
what other people see.
You just feel it.
Disgusting.
No matter
Gandalf,
how many
why?
times you shower.
So you put a curse on yourself.
Why didn't I pick like
The cute
cats?
animal.
Because
Fur.
you wanted a goddamn slug.
Now, a great deal of the time, the fetch is not visible, but it can be. So
Materialized.
Yeah, materialized.
You see my hat? Oh no, it's
Yeah.
psych.
And so, good. That's quite fun, actually. I quite like this.
Good luck.
If you, let's see, you can store power in the spirit world, and then if you use power to cast spells, then you can draw on the stored power to replace it. So you have a little bank of extra power that you can do this with. So let's see, right. Okay. And if you engage in spirit combat, that extra power is added to yours as a total. So having that bank of power there is quite important. So that's the next thing to do, is to teach you how to store power in the spirit world, but that is something you have to learn. Now, for the fun part. Please, I'm going to roll these percentage dice and see about other spirits that you may encounter in your excited exploration of this. And there is something actually extremely disturbing that you did not know about.
Mom, what are you doing here?
No, there is a good guess, but no. You will see that there is a place in the village. It is a well that has been covered over and is not used. And at that well, no spirit will go near it, and you can see spirits traveling around it. They will not go near it. That place is not for them, and they will not go. That's one thing.
Oh, it's probably just the wind. Let's go check it out.
That's right.
Is the well, is there an equivalent in the material non-spirit world?
Our world.
Well, when you return and eventually look, you will find that there was something there, and it has been bricked over. And so now people walk over it and things, but they don't know about it. And you, on the spirit plane, see it as a well.
That's
Oh,
fine.
that can't be good.
Right.
It's fine. It's probably fine. It's no problem.
Exactly. And then we also have the you also since you can zip around the village as you are discovering this movement issue and how it. Well, you see, this is why it takes 2 days.
Yeah.
For him, for as far as everybody else is concerned, he's been sitting in this hut for 2 days. For him, he's learning how long it takes to go from place to place. And
So you're
where
already-
he can go.
You just want to go back to his body.
Well, we'll deal with you in just a moment. But what
We'll
we
deal with
you.
what we have is that you realize that there are people. Okay, one place that you will definitely encounter is the place where the dead are buried. Okay, and you know that that's important. You know, you've handled that sort of situation yourself in the real world, and you also, as a shaman, that's part of the thing to do. And then also, but you did not realize, you know, that the spirit rests, it is visible on the graves for the newer graves, and then that spirit fades. And so, but what you have seen now, what you are looking at from the spirit plane, is that a number of the graves have been opened, and there are people who are carrying, especially older remains, out, and they are taking them to an outlying building at the village.
That's weird.
They're making pastries. Human pastries.
Nice.
So as I say, these are the older graves, the ones from the, you know how cemeteries, they have the new area and the
Yeah.
old area and things like that. So this is from the old area.
Okay.
People are going down. So hundreds of years,
why?
people are pulling
Why
out
though?
beaten up skeletons, these like half decayed skeletons and things, are taking them to these buildings. So
Okay. Have fun with that information.
I don't ever want to be a shaman anymore.
Too late.
right. Well, you'll notice that Setwell gave him a warning
Yeah.
before doing this,
Yeah.
right? Now you're beginning to realize there are some things that you might have been suspicious about.
But
So-
don't want to confirm it.